Hi boy. Spider-Man into the Spideyverse. Yes. Explained by an idiot. Let's get it. I watched this. It was a good movie. If you haven't watched it, watch it after this video. Let's get it.
Welcome to Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse that begins with Spider-Man giving a brief recap of his origin story, which you all know by now. Also how he spent the last 10 years, and we are introduced to Miles with morals. A super smart kid that likes doing graffiti, which really annoys his cop dad, and is going off to prestigious high school because he passed the test, won a competition, got a scholarship, something like that. We see him packing his bags to go stay in the dorms, which is dumb as in my opinion, because you live in New York, not Kansas. You don't have to move into the dorms. Your house is probably 15 to 30 minutes away by subway or something like that. He literally was going to go there on his own with all the heavy bags before his dad picked him up. But maybe it is really far away, whatever. His dad drops him off at this new school that Miles does not want to go to because he thinks it's crap. Cop dad embarrasses him on the first day. We see him struggle to keep up with the demanding workload of this place over the next few days. He meets a cool blonde chick that one of his teachers notices that he's intentionally trying to flunk out of the school by scoring 0 out of 100 on a test that is only made up of yes or no questions, meaning that he knew all the correct answers and deliberately chose all the wrong ones to try and flunk out. Noob move, bro. You should have sprinkled in some correct answers to show that you at least tried. That's like cheating 101, although you're not cheating, you're technically doing the opposite, kind of, sort of. If you're cheating off someone that always...
Even like, bro, how do you do a test? Like, you literally... From start to finish, you do a test and you get a 0. You might as well not do the test and get the 0. You feel me? Like, how did you not score at least 1?
Gets everything right, mess around with someone that working, gets some shit intentionally wrong so it looks less suspicious. Same thing applies here, dumbass, but in reverse. Anyway, she fixes his grade and makes him write an essay about what kind of person he wants to be, but instead he sneaks out and goes to hang with his uncle Aaron that his dad likes to use as a bad example a lot because he thinks he's a loser or something. I don't know why. He seems pretty cool to me, so far at least. They hang and Uncle Aaron shows him some terrible riz that he can apply on the blonde. Sees some of his art and tells him he knows the perfect place where he can throw that somewhere his dad will never find. So he goes to that place, a secret spot in the subway. Miles starts putting down paint while Aaron watches, and one of them make you super spiders makes its way over to Miles. So when he's done and they start to leave, it bites him while he's trying to take a picture of his art. He kills it and moves on. Not a single shit was given. Goes back to his dorm overnight. Obviously changes happen, and when he wakes up he don't fit in his pants no more. His inner voice is way louder than before, and he's sweating bullets, which gets worse in front of the blonde. And when he tries to hit her with his uncle's terrible riz, his hand gets stuck in her hair, so they have to cut it out at the nurse's office. He's super embarrassed by all that because everybody saw it, and he's hyper aware because of all his powers now. Then he tries to escape.
Yo, imagine embarrassing yourself so freaking bad in front of your crush. Boy, shout out to y'all, you feel me? Shout out to y'all. I couldn't. I could never.
Dorm security who's trying to bust him for sneaking out last night, but by doing that he ends up in the security guy's office and panics so damn hard that he ends up on the side of the building half naked and is somehow able to make it back to his dorm and get in through the window. And although that happened outside in broad daylight and in school in New York, blonde is actually cameras everywhere. He's the only person to see this. How is that possible? Doesn't matter. He lands on a Spider-Man comic book of Spider-Man getting his powers and realizes that he is also becoming Spider-Man. He's like, no, this isn't happening. I'm just getting puberty. I'm fine. Seems like I'm going through puberty as well. So he starts running over to the secret subway spot looking for answers or copium. On the way he tries to call Uncle Aaron, but that goes straight to voicemail, and he won't dare call his father because of how much he hates Spider-Man and he might be turning into Spider-Man, so that's a no-go. Then once he gets to the graffiti spot, he checks and confirms that the spider is indeed abnormal, then senses something going on nearby, finding an old defunct lab or control center. And as he enters it, he sees Spider-Man fighting a hulkified, dragonified Green Goblin, talking about opening portals to another dimension. Miles tries to get away, but fate has other plans and gets mixed up into the fight, falls into this big collider chamber where Spooderman has to save him. They both sync up their periods, I mean Spidey senses, and he's like, hey, you're like me. Then promises him he'll teach him all the Spidey stuff right after he destroys this big machine and saves the day. But then he gets stopped by another villain, a purple guy called the Prowler. I don't know whether that name is more gay or cool. Whatever, it's both. He fights the Prowler, then gets pinned down by the Dick Goblin. Then some fat bald with terrible posture in a nearby control room gives the order to turn on the collider. I'm gonna explain some more about Goblin. Then some fat bald with terrible
posture. Ugly, bro. What is this build, bro? What is this man's build? Honestly.
Posture in a nearby control room gives the order to turn on the collider. I'm gonna
What the fuck is this build, bro? Imagine being built like this in real life, gang. Nah, bro. Boy, I look like a pimple, ugly. Boy, I look like a... I don't fucking know, gang.
Explain some lore about this guy real quick that only gets revealed later in order to save some time. See, this fucker's villain name is Kingpin, and his normal name is something Fisk. He's some sort of dirty politician, I believe, because he seems to be
Invented, double life, fight Spider-Man family, KYS cause he's evil. What? Wider than he is tall, built collider to get fam back. What? Bro.
To be a rich nice guy in public but in secret is an evil villain that fights Spider-Man all the time, okay? And one day while fighting him, his wife and kids saw that and found out the truth about him, I guess. Were disgusted and tried to run away, but in doing so got into a fatal car accident. Ever since he's been trying to find
I don't remember that scene. What the fuck? Nah, see, why would he put family KYS if it was an accident?
Find a different version of them in a different dimension by building the multiverse machine collider thing, even though it could destroy the whole city. Also, he blames Spider-Man for the death of his family. That's all. So Pig King turns on the collider and two beams hit each other. The city starts glitching out a bit. Spidey tries to stop the machine, but then Green Coughlin grabs him and shoves him into the center point of the two beams against the orders of Kingpin because it fucks with everything, makes it like unstable or something like that, and blows everything up, causing a massive shockwave blast across the city and EMPing it for a second. Everyone is okay though, except for the Green Coughlin. Pretty sure he is killed and Spider-Man is heavily damaged. Miles runs over to Spidey and Spidey tells him to take this USB stick, override key thing, swing up there and plug it into a control board to destroy the machine. If you don't do this, everyone will die. Promise me you'll do this. Also hide your face and trust no one, blah 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 blah, all that stuff. Then tells him to go hide because Kingpin is coming. Don't worry, I'll make it out and come find you later. Kid goes to hide, Kingpin comes over and Spidey tells him that he knows what he's doing, it won't work. Your family's gone and you can't bring him back. So he does a big ground pound and kills him. Bro, how can he do that? I know Spider-Man was really hurt, but he's still super and Kingpin is just a normal guy. Just a bit big with a bad back. How does he do that? Doesn't matter. He notices Miles trying to run away, so he sends the Prowler after him, but Miles is able to lose him and go to his parents' house. They figure he came home because of the explosion they think was an earthquake scared him and he came here. Let him stay over for the night. Then it comes on the news that Spider-Man is died and his secret identity is Peter Parker. I understand how you could have figured out his secret identity. MJ could have seen the body and confirmed who he was. I mean, she's giving a speech about him right now, but how'd they figure it out so fast? Kingpin gave the order to get rid of the body, right?
Get
rid of the body.
I thought they would have burned the body, sunk it into the ocean, shot it into space, but it really seems like they threw into the dumpster of the Daily Bugle. There's no way it's beneficial for them to have the people find
that boy happy as shit about that. Hate the biggest Spider-Man hater right there, bro.
And out that Spider-Man is dead so fast. Although later we find out that this was a very high-tech Spider-Man, so maybe he had like a heart monitor that sent out a message to the world if his heart stopped, something like that. I don't know. Who cares? Next.
Wait. That's not him. Never mind. I'm talking about the guy from the Bugle, bro. I forgot his name. The one that reports shit. Hating on Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, so maybe he had like a heart monitor that sent out a message to the world if his heart stopped, something like that. I don't know. Who cares? Next day, Miles goes out and buys a shitty Spider-Man costume from Stan Lee, listens to a motivational Spider-Man eulogy from MJ, then sets about learning how to become Spider-Man from the comics, trying to leap off buildings, but instead trips off them, tumbles down and crash lands onto the goober, aka the USB stick Spider-Man gave him. So he goes over to Peter's grave to look for guidance, apologize, whatever. Then this other dude sneaks up behind him. Miles gets startled and electrocutes him away, knocking him out, but not before the dude shoots a web at him, temporarily connecting them to each other. He checks him out and realizes that this guy is another Peter Parker Spider-Man, and we cut to this Spider-Man's backstory. He comes from a different dimension where the fucking Hugo is still going, bro. Damn, does this mean that Yugoslavia never fell in this universe? Never mind. His story is very similar to this universe's Spider-Man, except more depressing because he didn't want to have kids with MJ, so she broke up with him. He lost a bunch of money on investments, let himself go, and May died. Then one day, a portal opened up in his house and sucked him up, then flung him into this reality where he is much more handsome, younger, and dead. Then he met Miles in a very shocking manner. The cops show up, so Miles tries to escape with Peter's unconscious body in this funny sequence where he uses Peter's web slingers to attach to a train, with Peter incurring many injuries from repeatedly smacking into everything in their way before landing in the middle of the street. No one gives a shit because it's New York. Then Miles takes him over to Uncle Aaron's house.
No one cares because it's New York. Bro, New York is a city of you can do whatever you want. People mind their business. And that's how the freaking world should be. Mind your business. No cap.
Ties him to a punching bag to try and interrogate him and find information about him. Considering who Aaron turns out to be later on, this is very risky, but he doesn't know that yet, so who cares? In this next sequence, Peter escapes his bonds and tries to leave while glitching out because he's in the wrong dimension. Miles figures out that he's a Peter from a different dimension and wants him to teach him how to be Spider-Man just like the dead one told him he was gonna do, so he can use the goober and destroy Kingpin's collider and save the planet, or New York, whatever. But Peter C-137 doesn't really care about helping him. He just wants to get back to his dimension by hacking Kingpin's collider using the goober that he steals from Miles. But then he finds out that Miles is broken. He's like, fucking useless. Now I have to go make a new one. Thanks. He tries to leave Miles alone to save his reality by himself, but Miles makes him feel bad about that decision, and even though he's hobo Spider-Man, he's still a good guy and agrees to help him. Guilt tripping successful. By the way, pretty sure this guy in the window heard and saw everything, but that's not important.
What the fuck? What the
Leave
fuck?
Miles alone to save his reality by himself, but Miles makes him feel bad about that decision, and even though he's hobo Spider-Man, he's still a good guy and agrees to help him. Guilt tripping successful. By the way, pretty sure this guy in the
What the fuck? Who is this? Bro, nah, this man putting shit out. I would not have noticed that.
window heard and saw everything.
He yo, who the fuck? Who? That gotta be somebody. He gotta play a part in this, all of this shit, bro. Exposing information or something.
But that's not important. Similarly unimportant, that I'm gonna mention anyway because I want to, is that Miles stops and squats next to this window to puppy dog eye guilt trip Peter into helping, and he keeps changing position next to this window without moving his feet. Not only that, the window itself completely disappears in one shot, but as I said, that's not important, so who cares? After a quick pit stop for some burgers, they head over to Hudson Valley where Alchemix HQ is, the company that has its name plastered all over the collider stuff and the goober. Peter tells Miles to stay put while he goes in there and makes another copy of the goober. These footsteps weren't there in the previous shot, by the way. As soon as Peter enters, Miles sees Kingpin arrive, so he follows him in there because he refuses to stand idly by and watch Spider-Man die again. Something he tells Peter after bumping into his ass in the vents. They spy and head scientist lady explain to Kingpin that if they fire the collider again, it could create a black hole under Brooklyn. He tells her that she has 24 hours to make it work properly, and they leave the room while arguing some more, so Peter jumps down to hack the computer and do the goofy goober shit. Miles tries to follow him down there, although he didn't really need to, and has a lot of trouble unsticking from the lights, then falls down, alerting the scientists to their presence. While Kingpin had already left, inside they find out that Miles can also turn invisible. So Peter tells him to continue working on the computer while he distracts the scientist that's coming in with his Spidey charm. But she be a dominatrix type bitch because she quickly takes charge, realizing that he's a Spider-Man from a different dimension, runs some tests on him, and tells him that if he doesn't return to his real...
Yo, that gotta be a violation. Shoving that shit, like touching him, shoving that shit in his mouth.
Charge, realizing that he's a Spider-Man from a different dimension, runs some tests on him.
Getting him tied down is crazy.
And tells him that if he doesn't return to his reality soon, his cells will disintegrate and he will die, which is something that she can't wait to watch. So he asks her what her name is, and she's like, it's Olivia Octavius, and he realizes that it's a gender-bender Doc Ock, and he's like, oh, fuck's sake, a Doc Ock that can get periods. That's bloody fantastic. Meanwhile, Miles couldn't figure out Olivia's mess.
It's this man's commentary, yo, his commentary,
oh, fuck's sake, a Doc Ock that can get periods. That's bloody fantastic. Meanwhile, Miles, who couldn't figure out Olivia's mess of a computer, decided to simply take the whole thing with the screen. Pretty sure Miles is smart enough to know that they don't need the screen, but it does lead to a pretty funny gag later on, so I'll let it pass. Anyway, Olivia unboxes her evil octopus supersuit, and Peter fights her while Miles runs away, bumping into Gwen on the way out. He barely has time to register that and keeps going. They evade the lift for a second, then run into a ton of scientists that turn out to be armed to the teeth, but as per usual, have a bad case of stormtrooper aim. Pretty standard movie bullshit here. Anyway, Peter throws Miles one of his web slingers and tells him it's time to learn how to swing, buddy. At first he sucks at it, but then he gets the hang of it pretty quick with Liv right on his ass. Starts swinging away with Peter through the woods, but unfortunately he starts glitching right at that moment. They lose the PC, but then another Spider-Woman shows up to save them, knock out Liv, and get the PC back. And this Spider-Female turns out to be none other than Gwyneth Stationary. She gives us her story, less similar, but still same. And when she got to this dimension, her Spidey sense told her to go to Miles' new school to meet him, and now they're here. They take a bus back to the city, and she tells them she knows where they can make another one of these goofy goobers, which is at Aunt May's place. They knock on the door, and she immediately realizes that they're Spider people from a different dimension. They ask for help with the goobers, so she takes them out back to a shack where Peter used to plan out every attack. They go down because it's a secret entrance to a basement, to a high-tech Spidey cave that's like a bat cave with a bunch of different suits for every single...
Oh, Bat cave or Spidey cave? Shit. Oh, that's a good question. What cave y'all picking, bro? This one or Batman cave? Oh, that's so tough. That's so fire. I gotta go Batman though.
Okay.
What y'all
I don't know how much any of that rhymes, but whatever. I'm not a fucking rapper. Let me get back in my lane. They're all amazed by this place, then Aunt May tells them that they're not the only spider bitches that thought to come here, and introduces them to 3 more spider fuckers. Black Noir Spider-Man, that's voiced by Nicolas Cage, Oni-chan Asian bitch in a mech suit, which is just Diva from Overwatch but spider themed, and a literal pig. Think Spider Pig from the Simpsons movie, but this time he can swing from a web, and he's Looney Tunes-ified. They all gloss over their origin stories and how they got here. They already know somehow that the collider is the only way home, but the catch is one of them has to stay behind in this reality and destroy the collider after they all pass through their portals and make it home. Miles is like, guys, if you stay, you will die. This is my dimension. I will stay, and I will do it. They question who he is. Peter starts upping him up, telling them that he has awesome powers that will help save them, but he can't control any of them that well yet. So they poke and prod at him to test how strong he is, like, can you take a hit? Can you fight back? Can you stand your ground against big titty goth girl Goombay? They keep pulling him for a bet, then they take Peter aside to tell him that he might not have what it takes. So Miles gets sad and leaves invisible, embarrassed, and depresso espresso. Goes over to Uncle Aaron's place while ignoring phone calls from his parents who are worried sick about him. Then while writing Aaron a letter, he sees someone coming in through the window, and it turns out to be the Prowler talking to Fisk/Kingpin on the phone. Miles turns invisible to avoid detection, then Purple takes off his mask and reveals himself to be Uncle A.A.Rod.
This was crazy the first time I saw this shit. I was like, huh? Uncle Aaron, bro? You bitch.
Dun dun dun. So Miles, shocked and flustered, tries to leave but makes some noise that like, Aaron hears, puts his mask back on, and sees that someone is invisible and trying to leave through heat vision. So he follows him, chasing him down through the street on his bike, causing a massive crash that they both survive, and lets him run away, presumably to track him from afar so he can lead him to the other spider people, who were able to make another copy of that goober. Just one. Personally, I would have made 2 and kept one a secret, backup, whatever. And another thing, why didn't Miles take his mask off and reveal himself to Aaron in his apartment? Pretty sure they're close enough so that when he does that, Aaron will stop in his tracks and
Facts, bro. Because he's... Yo, Aaron, Uncle Aaron, he trying to off this man. Crazy meme up there. I'm just noticing.
Consider what he's doing.
Crazy
spider people made another boober. Miles goes to them in a panic.
He would have stopped if he just...
villainy. At which point they realize that he has indeed been followed. Kingpin's goons break in, Doc Ock, Scorpion, and fucking zombie bodyguard guy. They start fighting the spider people. Eventually the Prowler shows up and they play hot potato with the goober while destroying Aunt May's house. Till the goober ends up with Miles. The Prowler chases him and is able to grab hold of him. So Miles takes off the mask, which emotionally stun locks Aaron and stops him from hurting him any further. See, why couldn't he have done that earlier? He could have avoided so much trouble. Because Aaron gets shot by Kingpin after refusing to kill Miles. Peter knocks...
And that shit could have been avoided. Yo, this big built fucking ugly ass, like Look at this man, bro. You ugly shit. You fucking ugly ass man, bro. Like, what is this?
Him away and tells Miles to get out of here. So he picks up Aaron's body and swings away to an alley where Aaron apologizes and tells him to be better than him, then bleeds out and dies just in time for his brother, aka Miles' father, to show up because he was in the area responding to a call about a Spidey disturbance. And when he sees a spider dude disappear leaving behind his brother's dead body, his hatred for Spider-Man only grows. Miles goes back to his dorm really angry and sad. The spider folks come to console him and comfort him, being the only people that understand what he's going through, then try and fail to hide from his roommate, who passes out from shock when he sees them. I just realized something. If there are comic books of Spider-Man in this reality and Spider-Man really exists and they are accurate to his lore, then how far back and how much do they reveal? You know what I mean? Like, shouldn't they have doxed the location of Aunt May already? Or does she live somewhere else in the comics, like in the Bronx? Does she even exist in the comics? You know what I mean? Doesn't matter. Peter then ties Miles to his chair and takes the Goober away from him, telling him that he'll stay behind and
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. Am I the only one who kind of gets a little hyped when they see like certain things or references in a movie? So I just noticed they showed over here, bro. It's Chance the Rapper's album cover.
What I mean? Like, shouldn't they have doxed the location of Aunt May already? Or does she live somewhere else in the comics, like in the Bronx? Does she even exist in the comics? You know what I mean? Doesn't matter. Peter then ties Miles to his chair and
right here, bro. Like little things like this, you feel me? Like outside of what Spider-Man actually is, bro. Just adding little shit like that. Fire, bro.
and takes the Goober away from him, telling him that he'll stay behind and destroy the collider because no matter how bad he wants it, Miles is not ready for it. So he's like, when will I know I'm ready? Peter be like, you won't, it's a leap of faith. Then they all swing away, seemingly attaching their webs to fucking nothing, although I'm sure it's just foggy and there are buildings over there. Then Miles' dad comes and knocks on the door to talk to him like, I can see your shadow, kid. I know you're still ignoring me, but I'm about to say some heartfelt shit, so you better listen up. He says some touchy-feely stuff, then leaves, which awakens some shit in Miles, giving him more control over his powers. He zaps out of Peter's webs, then goes over to Aunt May, who's like, I've been expecting you. She's sort of the Alfred of the Spider Cave, you know? Made him some web slingers his size, and he made himself a custom suit. Then we get a short but awesome sequence of him taking that leap of faith, trusting himself, better controlling his powers, and finally becoming
Spider. I got my powers after fucking a radioactive spider thought.
Meanwhile, the other Spider bitches go to attack the collider that is underneath Fisk Tower, where Kingpin is having a Spider-Man themed memorial ball dinner thing on the rooftop of area penthouse.
I can't stand this man, bro. This ugly big fuck, bro. You big back bitch, fuck bitch.
Place. I don't know what it's called, where all the waiters are wearing Spider-Man masks, so all they have to do to blend in is put on bow ties. They still totally stick out like sore thumbs because they're wearing full-on spider suits, but it's a funny bit, so who cares? The real question is, where is Spider-Pig? The three humans are walking normally, Oni-chan and her mech are cosplaying as a table, but Spider-Ham is nowhere to be seen. I bet he's probably on one of those silver platters. If not, then it's a total missed opportunity for another funny bit, or whatever. MJ asks Peter for some bread, and he's drooling at the sight of her because, you know, he blew it with his MJ, so he's like, I should have been better to you. She's like, it's okay, it's just bread. You deserve better, I will be better. Bro, it's just yeast, relax. They drag him away then and follow Kingpin down an elevator shaft to the collider. Kingpin turns it on and uses a sample of his family's dinner to search for them in a different reality and steal them, I think. The city starts vibrating and glitching all over. Peter and the Spider Gang try to go up to the control panel and plug in the Goober, but they get stopped by Doc Ock and Kingpin's goons, and so starts a big-ass colorful brawl between all of them, with all their dimensions merging and popping up in the middle of this collider. Miles joins in, only briefly using his invisibility. I don't know why he doesn't use it more often, doesn't seem to drain his powers or anything like that, and it's fucking overpowered as shit, like they literally cannot see you coming, bro. Whatever, movie has to movie. I don't really mind because this whole comic booky fight action sequence is pretty cool. They're all impressed with Miles and his abilities, continue to work together to defend each other. Oni-chan's mech gets destroyed, Doc Ock gets hit by a truck, and they fend off all the rest of the goons. Miles plugs in the Goober and takes control of the collider, selects everyone's reality, and sends them home one by one. They all say their funny, goofy, heartfelt goodbyes, except for Peter, because Kingpin shows up, so he wants to stay and help fight him off, but really he's just avoiding going back because he's afraid he'll further fuck shit up with MJ. So Miles tells him he has to go back and almost...
Miles is a G for this part right here, bro. They was doubting his ass, said he wasn't ready, all this in the third. Here's Peter Parker trying to take control of this universe, Miles' universe, bro. And Miles is like, no, fuck you. Get your ass out of here. I'ma handle this. That's growth. That's a G right there, bro.
But really, he's just avoiding going back because he's afraid he'll further fuck shit up with MJ. So Miles tells him he has to go back and almost drops him into the portal. Peter be like, how do I know I'm not gonna mess it up?
Look at that, bro. Like, just the switch of how they was treating and looking at him to this, bro. G. A straight G.
You won't. It's a leap of faith. Ah, I see what you did there, you JK bastard. Peter goes back to his dimension and Miles is left to 1v1 this 1950s fridge build motherfucker. In this fight, Miles' powers falter for a bit and Kingpin gets distracted by alternate versions of his dead family appearing in this one, similarly disgusted by his violent actions. They keep fighting and eventually Kingpin gets the better of Miles, but then he sees his father standing in the control room. He got there because he's doing cop shit, obviously. This is his job to respond to this kind of stuff. He saw how hard Spider-Man was fighting to save the city and started rooting for him, so spurred on by that, Miles regains control of his powers, zaps Kingpin away, then swings him into the green button on the control panel that shuts off the collider and destroys it. A move that is dumb as cum in my opinion.
That little ass button.
Then swings him into the green button.
That little ass button. Big ass dude. He could not have missed that. Big ass shit.
Button on the control panel that shuts off the collider and destroys it. A move that is dumb as cum in my opinion, because you see how big that motherfucker is? There's no way he hit only the green button.
He hit every button plus the green one, bro. He could not have missed none of those buttons.
Probably destroyed the whole panel, making it unusable. Also, there's a small continuity error here because Kingpin got a nosebleed in one shot, then it immediately disappeared. But I'm gonna chalk that up to the comic booky style of the movie. Anyway, the collider shuts off and destroys itself in very dramatic fashion, with the entire city going back to normal. Miles calls his father to make up with him. Well, not make up with him, they weren't fighting, but you know what I mean. They're Gucci now. He tells him he knows what happened to Uncle Aaron. Dad eases up on his strictness with him, so he goes to hug him as Spider-Man, and Dad is weirded out by that, but whatever. He's chill with Spider-Man now, so he's just like,
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Miles settles in as the new Spider-Man.
Oh, look at that bitch.
He's chill with Spider-Man now, so he's just like,
Okay.
Miles settles in.
Dude, look at him. Ugly boy, ugly. Stupid big bitch.
As the new Spider-Man, all the other Spider-Folk go on with their lives.
Yo.
Then a portal opens up between Miles and Gwen, and the movie ends at that. No, wait, we also get a post-credit scene hinting towards the next movie while
Fire.
referencing some classic spats and memes. This movie gets 25 pigs out of 82 chinchillas.
Fire, bro. This movie's so tough. This movie is so tough. Go watch it if you haven't, gang. It did get a lot of positive feedback, but I feel like a lot of people, they didn't want to watch this because it was just like the way they made it. It was like animated. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I've seen negative reviews on it. People think negative about it, talk about it, but it was a good ass movie, bro. It was a good ass movie, and I enjoyed every second of it. No cap. Funny enough, Spider-Ham was hiding under the silver platter. They were gonna do a bit with him revealing himself, but it was scrapped. For real. As a guy that live in New York, nobody gives two fucks about if somebody climbing the wall. They just want to get back home from work. Facts. Literally, New York, the land, the city, the state of mind your business. No cap. W video. Let me know what you guys thought.